Okay, it's your turn from mommy.
Hey friends, welcome to the first episode of Kaisha's Corner. I wanted to do the first episode on when you get a calling from God, it's definitely time to answer. So I wanted to give you guys a little backstory on why I wanted to start this podcast. So for many years, my goal and my interest was just to get into leadership and management, and I did that. I accomplished that. I now work as a supervisor in the company I work for currently, and I love it. I do love it. Granted, it pays the bills. My kids don't have a hungry night, thank God. I love what I do. However, for the last couple of months, I've had this extreme feeling, this overwhelming feeling that I'm meant to do something more. I'm meant to be something more. And so I couldn't figure out why I felt so unhappy in a job that I prayed for and I got. And so I'm thinking and I can't quite put my finger on it. And that's the problem, is when we try to figure things out by ourselves, we're never going to find the answer. We have to turn to God to find the answer. So I start praying, right? I start praying and I start talking to God, and I'm asking him, I'm like, I prayed for this position. I have it. Why do I feel so unhappy in my career? And I'm praying and I'm talking and I'm praying and I'm waiting for him to talk back to me. And suddenly he spoke to me so clear, as if he's sitting right here next to me having a conversation. And he told me that I do have a higher calling. There is something else that I'm meant to be doing. But he didn't tell me what it was right away. So, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm meant to do more. What is that exactly? What does that mean? And so I'm trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. I'm trying to figure out things that I would like, things that Kaisha would want to do. And that's another problem. We base our decisions on things that we like and things that we want. But when it comes to God's calling for our lives, it's rarely about what we want. It's about what he wants for our lives, right? So I start praying again. I start talking to him and I'm like, okay, you said I'm meant to be more. I'm meant to do more. But what does that mean exactly? What am I meant to do? Help me find my gift. And so, again, as if he was sitting right next to me, he told me that he wants me to use my voice. My voice is my gift. And I just sat there and I thought for a minute. I'm like, my voice is my gift, because I'm a very introverted person. I'm not someone who likes to share things. I don't like, a lot of people in my business. To be frank, I don't like exposing myself or exposing parts of my life, because everybody don't wish you well. Everybody's intentions for you aren't pure. And I've always lived my life like that. Like, okay, if I keep lots of things to myself, then people can't pray on my downfall. But that's not what God wants for me. He wants me to speak up. He wants me to encourage his people, his followers, his believers to come to him. And he wants me to encourage those who don't believe to start believing. And that's what started me on this journey of creating Kaisha's Corner. So I said all that to say, when God has a calling on your life, it's going to feel like a strong pull. It's going to feel almost like a tug of war with yourself and something greater than you can even imagine. Because in your position, you're going to feel like, you know what? I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. And God's going to say, yeah, well, that's great. If you're doing what you want to do, but you're not doing what I want you to do. And so that's going to be the tug of war there, right? And so that pull is so strong, you're not going to have a choice but to listen. And I would encourage you to listen, because a lot of times we can get complacent in our lives and in our jobs and in our routines. We wake up, we take care of the kids, we go to work, we come home, we scroll down TikTok, we go to bed. And it never occurs to us that this cannot be what I'm supposed to be doing for the rest of my life. There is something greater out there for me. All I have to do is reach for it. So when God puts that calling on your life, sometimes you have to take a step that makes you uncomfortable. See, you want to get a little uncomfortable. That's when you know you're moving in the right direction. Because when we're sitting in our comfort zone and we're comfortable, and we're rarely moving forward when we're comfortable. We don't want to sit and be complacent and be comfortable. We want to step out of that comfort zone and make ourselves a little uncomfortable, because then we know we're going somewhere. Then we're making room for change. We're allowing things to happen in our lives. You have to take a leap out on faith. And that's what your journey with Christ is. It's faith. We cannot see him, no, but he's definitely real and he's definitely there. And when you build that relationship with him, you can start hearing him talk to you just like you hear me talking to you right now. It's going to be very, very clear. But you have to be willing to listen, is the thing. Because a lot of times we all hear Christ. We all hear him talk to us, but we kind of think it's something else, or we think it's not him, or we think it's just in the back of my head. Sometimes what's in the back of your head is Jesus talking to you. You just have to listen. So be willing to take that leap out on faith. Be willing to take one step forward. Allow God to make the rest of the steps for you. If something is meant for you, it's going to be for you. And the thing is, our journeys, our futures are destined. He knew you before you were even born. He knew you when you were in your mother's womb. And he already had a plan for your life. You just have to go out there and get it. And I assure you, the 9-to-5 job that you're working on right now is not what he wants for your life. It's not. He wants us to get out there and come together as believers, inspire each other, use our voices, bring more people into him. That's what he wants us to do. Sometimes he uses you as a blessing to others. You have to always be willing to listen, because he's always going to tell you what he wants. You just have to be willing to listen, and you have to be willing to do it. Because we can stop it at just listening, but that's not what he wants. You have to pray, listen, and act in that order. Pray, listen, and act. Because Jesus is real, and he's coming back soon. I encourage everybody, get right with him. He'll be back soon. So listen, I am going to post in Kaisha's Corner every Wednesday night for Thursdays. So you're going to get a new episode every Thursday of Kaisha's Corner. You guys can email me with any topics that you want me to discuss, or if there's anything that you want any advice on, you can send an email to Kaishas.corner@gmail. That is KIESHIAS.KORNER@gmail.com. And I will feature a response weekly if we get any. Otherwise, I can also respond to your emails myself. But remember, a lot of the advice you need can come directly from Jesus. Just pray. Pray before you start any journeys. Pray before you start any new goals, any new tasks, any careers. Always pray. Pray, pray, pray. Prayer has to be the start of every day. It has to be the end of every day. And it has to lead all of our decisions. You see, when we pray, we allow us to let God lead us rather than us trying to lead our own lives. Because what it has shown us when we try to lead our own lives is we end up in a dead end somewhere. All of us have been there. We all want to do things our way. It doesn't work out for us. We have to pray. Allow God to lead us in the direction he wants us to be in. That's when you see success. That's when you see things work out in your favor. That's when you see progress. Pray. Talk to God. Start every day with prayer. Start journaling in the mornings. Set your intentions for the day. See, when you want something and you're working towards something, when God finally shows you your purpose and you're working toward that purpose, you got to have a plan, right? There has to be action steps. Get yourself a journal. Journal every morning. Set your intentions for the day. Set goals for yourself. Make those goals attainable goals. Because a lot of the times when we set goals, we make the goals too high for our reach. And then we start feeling like, oh, this is never going to happen for me. I'm never going to get this. And then we quit. We're not quitters. We're not quitting, especially when we're doing God's work. We are not quitting, just like He never quit on us. So we got to keep going. We have to keep going. And I think, we think as a people, we don't dream high enough, right? Like I said, for myself, I wanted to be in leadership, and I am, and I love my job, and I really do. But for me, now that I'm sitting back and I'm thinking on it, I'm like, okay, I'm a supervisor, great, but there was no what's next for me. We all have to have our what's next, because we get to a certain place and we feel like that's the highest we can be. It's not the highest we can go. We can go as high as the sky if that's what we want to do. We just have to keep working for it. We can't just stop here, get stuck here, and think that here is it. Here is never it. There's always more. Dream bigger. Dream higher. And don't ever think that you're dreaming too big, that it's too much, that it's never going to happen. Because as long as you follow Christ, as long as you pray, as long as you talk to God, you're going to get where you want to be. It's already yours. Remember, we can do all things through Christ. Thanks for watching.